Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions, 4 p.m. BST on a Wednesday afternoon, joined by co-host Izabela Hamilton, Brent Zahradnik, Liran Hirschkorn, Howard Ty when he gets back to his computer, Anthony Lee, and a few more be joining, including Brandon, but he's probably flying along in his car down the motorway because he's always gets there in the nick of time. So we'll expect to see him shortly, George Meressa and a couple of others. Welcome to the show, guys. Izabela, you don't need to do an introduction because people know you's co-host. Brent, let's start with you. Can you do an introduction and let people know who you are, please?
Yeah, sure. It's been a minute since I've been on the show. My name's Brent. I'm the founder of Amazon Pathfinder. We've been doing Amazon ad management for just over 6 years now, actually. Our birthday was August. So here we are in early September.
Excellent. Liran.
Liran Hirschkorn, founder of Incrementum Digital, full-service marketing agency for Amazon and Walmart brand owners.
Excellent. And Howard?
Howard Ty, also known as the Professor, owner of Analytics. And we help people rank their products.
Superb. Anthony Lee.
Anthony Lee, Amazon subject matter expert in air quotes for canopy management. And all around guy that doesn't shut up.
Excellent. Casey Gauss.
Hey guys, Casey Gauss, founder of ViroLaunch and Amazon software, and currently a VP at Thrasio.
Cool. George.
Hey, sorry I'm late, guys. So I'm George, founder of Clear Ads. We help companies advertise on Amazon through sponsored ads and also Amazon DSP.
Superb. Right, I'll kick off the show. So me and Izza are going to be co-hosting Seller Sessions live on Saturday, the 9th of October. Friday night is going to be the VIP dinner. Saturday night, we've done a nightclub takeover. I'll be DJing from 7 p.m. till 2 a.m. And then we've got the after party until 8 o'clock in the morning for the stragglers. This, as I said, the Friday the 8th, Saturday the 9th October. We've had a bit of a struggle with the lineup because people being double jabbed and quarantine and stuff, but we finally got there after moving the date for Seller Sessions Live 7 times at a small fortune. We've also had to cancel both of the workshops, so refunds are being issued for those. The event is sold out, but from those workshops, those who don't decide to attend, what we'll be doing is redistributing those tickets as a package. So it will be the VIP dinner, and it will also be conference pass, after party, after party as well. At the VIP dinner, there's a load of industry heads flying in. You're going to see Paul Rafelson, you'll see Tim Jordan, Steve Simonson. So you're going to be in good company for those that are on the stage and not on the stage as well. Liran and Brandon will be coming in via Zoom. So there's restrictions for these guys here, but we still wanted to make sure they could attend. And it was important for me to make sure that we've got a lot of the guys on the stage, because I didn't want to just end up doing this kind of a Zoom event, if you like. I'm sure everyone is sick of Zoom at the moment. We've got Brandon here. He's just arrived. It's looking very dark there, brother.
Yeah, good morning.
Excellent.
Figuratively or physically?
Yeah, it looks kind of dark in the background. I've got a silhouette of your head. I didn't know if it's some kind of filter, like a camera thing, because you've got a black top on as well.
No, I can turn it this way too. Maybe that's a little bit better.
There we go. So just explaining people about line up the dates. Brandon explained that we've, because you and I are able to travel, we've cancelled your workshop, but you're still going to do the Zoom. We're doing refunds, reissuing the tickets. Explain what's going on the party, just to get you up to speed. And now I really want to have a quick chat about the content itself. So throughout the day, we're going to there'll be a fireside chat at the end of the day, and there will also be a panel which is going to feature Brent on this panel as well. The fireside chat has been changed. It was originally going to be with John Hefter from Thrasio, but now we're bringing in Jim Mann to do it, and the topic's changed. And what we're going to look at talking about is all the skullduggery that goes on in the industry amongst the aggregators, not naming names or anything, but just for sellers to be aware of what goes on. You know, people getting you pulled in to go under contract early, and then in discovery things get changed. And so these can be some of the tactics to protect sellers who are shopping their businesses around to various different companies, just to make sure they don't get caught short. So me and Jim will have an in-depth conversation about that. The day kicks off at 9 a.m. In terms of what we're doing, because of COVID and everything else, we're going to be doing lunch boxes for people, and then they can choose what food they want from that, whether it's vegan, meat, whatever they want, and then they'll be able to do a reduction there in terms of contact. There'll be sanitation, all the things that we need in to put in place to make sure that people are safe. I've explained to the delegates already that, with what happened in Prosper, there's a few people that come away with COVID. Stuff like that is to be expected. It's about being respectful of yourself and the people around you. Liran, let's kick off with you. We've kind of finalized an overview of the content you're covering. Can you give us a little bit of insight there?
Yes. So, one, it seems like there's something new that's literally every week coming out with Amazon advertising this year. So I'm going to talk about, a lot of the new updates and how to best utilize them in your business. And then I'm also going to be covering how to maximize the data that you have in brand analytics to grow your business in general with ads, and just organically also in your business, from understanding competitors and how people are comparing your products to other products, to a lot of the data that's there that people are not really looking at. Most people are just looking at the search term data that's in brand analytics, but there's a lot more there. And so we'll be kind of going deeper into the other areas and how to best utilize them. Including how to tell if Amazon ads are cannibalizing your organic sales, utilizing data that's in brand analytics.
Yeah. Howard.
So I believe I'm trying to figure out right now, doing some testing, see how we can see from external traffic, which external traffic source is stronger than others and by how much. So that's what I'm trying to come up with a presentation that will be specifically about this topic.
Excellent. Anthony, you and I are going to team up. You've had your head in the research papers now as well with A9. So anything there that you've spotted recently, because obviously we're going to have a different perspective on how we extract our research, but we'll team up and work together. What are some things that that you found really interesting there that you'd look to share?
There are definitely a couple of tidbits that I noticed were different from the YouTube presentation of that you shared of like when you actually read the paper. Some stuff that was left out that's very pertinent to Amazon sellers, and I was like, that's going to be fun. But essentially what everybody's going to be able to expect to see at Seller Sessions Live is me poorly explaining how the algorithm works, and hopefully they get some value out of that.
Sounds good. Cool. And we still got to finish those slides. Casey.
There are a couple cool rank strategies that I'm working on. One is going very well. Have some pretty powerful case studies. It's essentially free. No one's talking about it, and so I'll be talking about that. There's another pretty cool hack strategy that I'm testing out currently, trying to get some data on that I would also like to share.
Yeah, sounds good. George, unmute your mic, please.
Cool, I'm unmuted. So I'll be sharing a few use cases of what we've done with Amazon DSP that has worked really well for a number of our clients. And then we'll also delve into just what can be done in Q4 to kind of maximize the returns you get from Amazon DSP, and just take, that's what we'll be sharing.
Yeah, Brandon, we're still kind of finalizing your bits, but you've got a few ideas. Is there anything you want to share?
Yeah, we haven't figured out exactly what we're going to dive deeper into. I don't want to overlap with anyone else, with everyone else's teaching. So you and I will probably figure out something pretty cool to go into.
Indeed. I just want to go over the rest of the lineup as well. Nadine Shopper will be joining us as well. Tamra Popovich, who was replacing Destiny Wishon, is now dropped out, and I will be having a replacement there. Dan Ashburn will be joining us as well. So will Roscoe Hill. He's from Perpetua. He'll be on the panel alongside Brent and a couple of others. I'm still finalizing a couple of more bits. Belle, what do you want to get out of this? You're going to be hosting the day. I'll be doing the intros, opening the doors, and we'll do the morning discussion, thank sponsors, those kind of things. What are you expecting from the day yourself?
Well, good morning, everyone. It's so good to see all my favorite people on this call. I am just excited to go to London, one, and two, just being able to spend even more time with these geniuses that we have on the call and the ones that are not on this call. So, and I'm going to make sure that everything they just said on this call is going to be presented. So I think that's my job there.
Sounds good. Tony says, Kevin's next $1 billion summit requires a rapid COVID test before entry. What are your thoughts for other events? So the way it's working here in the UK, there isn't a jurisdiction to do that. What I have asked everyone is to be responsible in order to take tests before they leave the house. We're going to do some random testing on site as well. There'll be sanitation and everything else. I have to get the anti-vaxxer versus vaxxers off the table. I respect both parties. However, I've got to take care of people's safety. So what it really comes down to, there is the options to wear a mask. I do suggest to wear a mask. Izza will wear a mask. I will wear a mask within the venue. Obviously, when you're eating, it's going to change, and we're going to work to the best bylaws here as possible to make sure people are as safe as possible. Do you have any others? What a party. I better quickly say a big thank you to all the sponsors for the event as well, just quickly. So Seller Sessions Live is brought to you by Thrasio. The after party is brought to you by Sellers Alley and YLT Translations. The VIP dinner is brought to you by Perpetua. And also I'd like to thank our sponsors, Ping Pong, Your Tasker, Alex DeLille, Design, and of course, PickFu. Any other comments, guys? I mean, I know you've got, most of you, being US based, have been out to prosper and had lots of fun. What's your thoughts of coming to London, working hard and partying really hard London style? Who's kicking off? Anthony?
I love the emphasis on the party. I feel like
but you got
the announcement was like, 30 seconds and the party was like a minute and a half. Like there's going to be a party, guys. But, in all the years that I've been in this business, I realized that those are the places that people make things happen. So I'm always down for a really good event. Of course, the knowledge is always bomb, but being able to spend time and connect even more with the ones we love and who are doing so many great things for the community is the best part for me.
Indeed. And I know that Liran likes the party because he was watching the boxing on illegal TV. We're watching Anthony Joshua get beat on the 1st of June. And we were sitting in VQs at what?
At about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, it's close. Well, we got out at about 5:30, but I think, we started in there about 3 o'clock in the morning. Howard, I know you like to party. I see you over in, where was it we were together last year in, where was it? Where we were in the Czech Republic, weren't we? March last year. Your mic's off, mate. Do you want to turn your mic on? Yeah.
I remember Prague, right? So that was, I think I was pretty drunk.
I think you were fine. I mean, I think everyone was drinking. But yeah, you seem to be enjoying yourself in Prague. So I know you like to party. Anthony, I've been out with you plenty of times.
Danny, real quick. Do you remember that awesome story where we first met Howard in China and he just randomly is like, hey, it's nice to meet you. Here's an entire bottle of liquor. Yes. And then it ended up in your backpack and you forgot about it and had to go through customs at the airport with that.
Yeah, we back up that story. Met up with Howard. He took us out for dinner and he got me absolutely wasted. Went to the after party, got back to the hotel, still had that liquor in my bag. Will Cherland is banging on my door at 4:30 in the morning because I said, don't worry, I've got it taken care of. I've got a car picking this up. So the car's sitting outside. I've got him banging on the door and I'm thinking, what is that? I've got this banging headache and I've looked up and I just realized where I was. I opened the door and Will is pissed because obviously his flight's going before mine. So we jump in the car, then we had to go across the border from China because we flew out through Hong Kong. So you have to get out the car, walk across with all your bags and stuff. I'm running for the flight at the airport. He's run the other way. And then I got pulled at customs. I'm thinking, what the fuck's going on here? And then they pulled out this alcohol, and I forgot that Howard had given me that. I was all over the place. But we did get home safely. But that's all part of the fun. This is what I like about when we do conferences. You have hardcore content and you party hard as well, and everyone has fun.
Howard, the last time one of the last times I saw you was at the Iron Fairies. If anyone knows that place in Hong Kong, the bar with all the hanging fairies, I guess. In those little caves.
Yeah, I remember.
Sounds like quite the spot.
Random thought.
Yeah. But I mean, Brandon, we went out a few times in China. The party pier, I think I was down there most nights, getting in at 4:30 in the morning. I was with you, Liran, as well, and you, Bell.
Yes.
Then we do Chris's party, and then we end up at the party pier.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good times. I wish we could we could go back. I don't know. What are your thoughts on China, Danny? You think it's going to happen this year?
I'm no good with China. I always fuck it up. I end up with issues with phones and all sorts. I nearly got arrested because I never had a phone, or I had a phone. I got a brand new phone, right? I end up going through 6 different SIM cards. Howard's helped me out. All these different people helped me out. I end up going into China Mobile. I sign up for a contract. The big burly bouncer on the door was like, what's the problem? I'm like, look, I don't understand a word that he's saying. So I've just signed my life away on this contract. I then got a car waiting outside. I'll get in the car. I go get back to my hotel. He gives me my change. It's fake notes. I go into Starbucks next door, hand over the notes, and they're saying they're going to call the authorities. I think Baptiste come in and to rescue me.
I have go ahead.
Yeah, so I tend to not have a good experiences with SIM cards and phones and cab drivers in Hong Kong.
And the people around you losing their phones as well. It's like it's a magnet for you.
Oh yeah, well I won't even go into who that was, but I was up till 5:30 that morning. You and Liran disappeared, and I'm left there, and we're walking the what was it called, the pier, to try and find where the phone's gone and make sure that she got back to her hotel okay. But yeah, good times though.
Advice: if you're gonna get arrested in a country, China is not the best place.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, when I arrived there, you want to see this hotel they put me in. It was like a prisoner war camp. So I've got into this hotel 2 days before the event. And again, not having no phone. I think I told you the story. So I'm in my room and I'm thinking, what are those noises? And in this room, it's got a window like inset on the wall, and it's slightly open. I've opened it slightly, and there's a Chinese man sitting there with a cigarette in his mouth, puffing away. And I'm like, there is no separation. And then I went into the shower. And I'm like, I can't be staying. Like, it was really, really bad.
Yeah,
and Baptiste
moved out of that place.
Yeah, Baptiste come and collect me, took me to another hotel. I'm absolutely useless in China. And the first time when I went to Canton Fair, I went with a friend of mine, Steve. And I said, Steve, I've got this. Don't you worry about it. And so we walked around for 3 hours leading up to the Canton Fair on the first day. And he's going, yeah, Dan, you've got this, haven't you? Because you're waving down the taxi drivers and no one speaks English. And it's only 2.5 miles from we were staying in the burbs. So I've walked up and down for 3 hours. I must admit, I nearly cried. And at the last moment, I messaged our Airbnb guide, and he put it in Chinese on WeChat or whatever.
Didi.
Yes. And then showed it to the cab driver, and we were at Canton in 2 minutes. So yeah, so China's not been kind to me, but I'm going to give it another go. Third time lucky.
In October,
I'd much rather get arrested in the UK. Maybe this is my year.
Is the Canton Fair happening live this October?
I don't know. I think they're talking about it. I know probably at least they'll be ready to go next April. Brandon, what's the word on the ground for China? Do you know any more on that in terms of Canton?
So there's a new thought about maybe letting the virus starting to get spread a little bit more, but they are closing down very quickly each state whenever they get a case, and they require literally every single person in the city to go get tested whenever a case pops up.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then they lock down. So it's they're very, very diligent, but I'm not sure on the technology and how efficient their vaccine is. There's been reports that it might not be as good as like ours, our mRNA that we have. So I guess they're kind of just trying to see what kind of data they can get, whether it's safe to open up, how many they're going to make a business decision on how many people are okay to die to save business. I imagine.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Yeah, go on. Sorry, Liran.
I have a Amazon question, but not on this topic question. While we have everybody here,
yes.
Maybe Casey or Brandon, I don't know, have any insight on this. Maybe Casey from Thrasio side and Brandon from just knowing China. Shipping rates. Can you talk about why the rates are so high? Why is there a container shortage? And are rates going to go back down ever to what they were before?
Do you want to answer that, Casey, or you want me to?
You got it, Brandon. I'll fill in.
Okay. So, I mean, I think that it stemmed from it made sense that, during the pandemic, everyone was locked down, and then all of a sudden everyone opens up and there's huge demand for everything all of a sudden, right? Like, and we saw that e-commerce demand didn't really taper off. So the normal demand plus like the backup demand plus the e-commerce boom just crushed demand. So that's why there's a shortage. The reality of the situation, though, is that
from that, though, Brandon, if I step back from that for a second, though, previously, like, did demand go up? I mean, previously everything was sold in combination of online and brick and mortar. Now it's just being sold more online. So why such an increase in demand? I mean, most goods and stuff in the U.S. was coming already from China, right? Is it more ports closing down? Or and container issues?
Well, think about what happened is, like, during the lockdown, you had a lot of people that were just dwindling inventory. Inventory was going bad and they weren't reordering. And then they were kind of waiting. So everything did bottleneck and then build up. So there was that. But it's also gouging. It's bullshit. There's like 2 major shipping companies, and both of them have reported more profit in like 2 months than they did the entire previous year.
Artificially inflated.
Yeah, it's definitely artificially inflated and ridiculous. Plus, there's also major players like Amazon who are controlling major shipping lanes themselves. Like, they have entire ships that they control, that they own like every container on, which have. But if you are a large enough seller and you qualify for their program, you can get preferred rates that are half of the current spot, which we happen to just get on board with, which is pretty phenomenal. So it's a huge advantage.
There's also processing delays because of COVID restrictions and in how they have to manage the ports and, everything kind of downstream from there. There's also, shortages with labor as well, like hiring good people. So yeah, it's really.
Yeah, so everything's getting backed up because of processes plus labor shortages. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense as well.
And if you had to make a prediction on 6 to 12 months from now, where shipping rates are, like, I know it's a dangerous prediction probably, but
so I think right after Chinese New Year, after that rush and pullback happens, next March, April, I think rates will probably be about half of what they are today, but that's still double what they were previously. So it's just the new normal. It's only going to increase for the rest of this year. You have to be prepared for that. And then taper back off. I think we'll figure out some new solutions, unless the U.S. government steps in, which is a possibility, because they can supplement or regulate it, because there are just massive profits being made. And so it's one thing to be told, like, hey, if you book, you have to book 2 months out for your container, but the rate is regulated. And I think that the government needs to do something about it, because at this point it's going to hurt American consumers. And it's just not, I don't know if it's on the radar of our government to even do anything about it, but someone should probably tell them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's also just kind of like supply and demand. So the supply just isn't there. So, but the demand is, and
yeah, they can name their price, right? Like, that's just the way supply and demand works. It's like, I'll keep pricing it until someone doesn't want it anymore. And no matter how high they price it, people still want it because we still need to get shit here, right?
Yeah.
And do you think that this main solution for sellers is just to raise prices? I mean, it's difficult on a marketplace, obviously, with competitors.
Yeah, I mean, eventually we're all going to have to, or we're all just selling at a loss, right? Like, eventually right now, I can tell you that in certain industries, Chinese sellers have almost, like, depending on the industry, have almost always been okay with much smaller margins than other sellers, right? And that's known. They get supplements from the Chinese government. They get compensated in other ways. They have a goal of raising revenue because the valuation and what they can raise from private investors and going public is based on revenue, not on profit. And so, like, their goal is just pump revenue. And so they're okay with those slimmer margins, and they just try to make it up on volume. So eventually, even they're going to have to raise prices, and it just depends on the industry you're in.
Yeah, it's circumstantial. Like, if you're really trying to, typically when you are raising prices, I mean, you're going to suffer top line, and when you suffer top line, now your review velocity is less, so it's going to be that much more difficult to get into the top, 1, 2, 3 review positions, or if you're there, it's going to be that much more difficult to maintain it, which has a big effect on everything from PPC and CPC costs and your A costs and tacos, as well as your ranking and then your future review velocity. So, like, it is tough, and if you it depends on, are you trying to sell right now, which unfortunately is based off of EBITDA usually. And so do you sacrifice short-term EBITDA in order to kind of maintain your position? To Brandon's point, like, not everybody can maintain the current circumstances forever. So some people are going to be moving. The difficult part is, like, some people are in this for the longer haul and are going to be willing to break even this year, or, run at much lower margins than normal, which is going to hurt your, exit price.
Casey, interesting question on this. Can you add back some of the increased shipping fees when you're selling the business? I mean, shipping rates are up 5x. Maybe in the future they go half to what they are. If I'm selling my business today, can I include that as add backs, considering maybe it won't stay this way? I don't know if you know how Thrasio is looking at it.
I mean, currently we're not like factoring that in to the favor of the seller. Partially because, I mean, we just have no idea, when and by how much. Is it gonna, like, is the new floor a year from now going to be 10% of what it is, or
right?
Like, we don't know. So we're not currently. Perhaps there's an opportunity, or some aggregators that are, and perhaps a concerted effort by the seller community could help make that happen or alleviate some of that. It is tough because we want to buy, market leading businesses. And in order to be a market leader, a lot of the time you have to be price competitive. And it's harder to do right now. Ad costs going up on the other end of it as well, like greater percentage of sales coming from ads. I mean, it's expensive to sell on Amazon right now.
Yeah. Sorry, Danny, to hijack. Back to you.
No, all good. I just go through some of the comments here. Sybe says there was a 3-month bottleneck after Chinese New Year 2020. Sharon Evans says the shortage happened because there are many cases in port which caused them to close or have less people to get to work. There was a lack of chassis as well because it took longer to unpack containers. But like what Brandon also said there, she said the main reason is greed and also the lack of workers in warehouses. Size comeback, massive shortage of hardware such as trucks and containers. Shan's return will be shipping rates will never go back to 4K in a container, but at some point or at some stage go down after the Chinese New Year. Shipping lines, Facebook user says shipping lines have been removed. Ships from their services haven't taken advantage of the pandemic to create a new inflated floor, artificial supply and demand. And then finally, Sai says, look at the stock market and others. They will not be dropping their rates. Shipping is a commodity. Cool. I think we're pretty much cut. Does anyone want to finish off on anything rather than me go on about stories of raving at night and losing phones and shit like that?
I'm excited to hear you DJ, Danny.
Well, it's been in a club. I haven't DJ'd in a club since 2008. So let's just hope it doesn't sound like someone wearing a knitted suit falling down the steps of a warehouse. Yeah. So we'll see.
Danny's big comeback.
Yeah, the big comeback. No, it should be all right. I've got a sync button. No, it'd be good. It's I'll be playing everything from hip hop, house, all the way across the board. It's mainly going to be like classic stuff and just based on the room. I won't be playing what I used to play at Fabric and Ministry and all that kind of stuff, because it will send a glass eye to sleep, and not everyone's into dance music. So because it's a conference crowd, it's focused on that. But there'll be like bootlegs, Michael Jackson bootlegs mixed with house and all sorts of stuff. So it'll be fun. Everyone will be wasted, enjoy themselves. It'll be a great party, and we'll make sure that everyone gets home safe at 8 o'clock in the morning. Me and Liran are going to hold the line. Oh no, you're going to have to do it all by Zoom, Liran.
Yes.
Yeah. Me and Izabela will hold the line, and we'll make sure that everyone is out to 8 o'clock in the morning and have a great experience. So. Lady and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. Great to see you. I know your time is precious. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you all at Seller Sessions Live. Tomorrow, Sharon will be back here, 4 p.m. BST. Take care of yourself and your family. Much love, and I'll speak to you soon.